Hello there. Um, I had initially set out with the ambition to break the fourth shield on Abyss 1. Sadly, due to my roster and other attenuating circumstances, such as awakenings, I don't have the damage to actually get that done. Maybe with a maxed Sutra and some other details I could get that done, and Hex exclusive, for example, but the reality is that in the current state of things, I cannot. So I then tried, messing around with a Arbiter team a little bit, but that didn't really exactly pan out very well either. I was also sick and tired of juggling this Ferssi ultimate to try to make Twyla painfully survive, so we are now running this team. And there's still some room for tweaking and improvement in this team. I would technically potentially be able to drop Volka and put in Lord Phineas with his exclusive. The bottom line here is that we can get it done with our Hex. At least the first magical shield. And once that is done, we use that opportunity to basically deal as much physical damage as we humanly can on the other two shields. Okay, now I'm dropping him at a very precise time just because I need his cards to arrive into the shield as close as possible to the beginning of it. And that's really it. We also have a Wings of Grace set on Aylin, so that's why she is going in right after. Then we do Setram, we do our Kigiri, we pop Diaochan, drop in our Ferssi, drop in our Twyla, drop in our Volk, drop in our morale-boosted Torodor, and we're good to go. We pop our Twinfiend ultimate, Kigiri, Twyla, Aylin to get some Soldan Arcana stacks going, despite how minimally relevant that will actually end up being damage-wise. We want to get those going as quick as possible. Then, Setram as soon as possible. Volka, Ferssi, Kigiri, and we're going to wait here until Setram reaches almost the end of his ultimate. There we go, pop Twinfiend so he gets going, and our vulnerability basically never drops off. So we're milking as much damage as we can here, and plus this combines itself with Setram's downtime, so we're not actually losing all that much damage. So you'd be able to shoot off maybe 1 or 2 hits at most here before the dragon switches to being immune to physical. So, that's roughly where we're at. Saving that Kigiri ultimate, and here we're waiting for that bar to reach a very specific point to once more make sure that Hex's timings are as consistent as possible across my runs. We're waiting for about it to get at that slash, and then he'll just go to town and start running his ultimate. On the slam, we're going to pop Aylin just to make sure that no one takes some damage that we don't want them to take. And we move peacefully ahead until we get to the meteor phase. In which case, we just happily abuse Kigiri here. Alright, pop that. Okay. Now here's where it's slightly more interesting. Alright, so the second that... We're essentially monitoring Hex here. Alright. He's drawing his bow. I believe this one will miss its mark. It'll arrive just a little bit early. So I probably need to slightly tweak the timings, but then he will regenerate, roughly 3 or 4 cards. Come on. As soon as that shield goes up, some ultimates that need to go out. Yeah, he's casting his charged card, so I will cast everyone else. He'll send out So he'll send out that charged card. He will then immediately go into Twinfiend ult, send out the Twinfiend burst of damage, and then he should have time to draw one more card and finish off the shield. So it's tight, but it works out. And the exact timings I used will probably need to be tweaked based on your attack speed, potentially the damage, potentially other factors. This is just what seems to work consistently for me. This is the third or fourth time that I've done it in roughly this pattern. And the cards shot are slightly changing, but there's nothing major that's throwing us off. I haven't failed it so far. So, something to keep in mind when you're doing this is you may need to work on your own timings. I recommend using the cost initially, when your first placement of Hex is happening, and then using the where it is on the HP bar for that cast when you actually need to cast Hex's ultimate, as you enter into the magical phase. So yeah, then we go into physical. Here our goal is to survive, really. So we're gonna cast Aylin. So people take a lot of damage here. We're probably also going to... I think it's reasonable to cast a Twinfiend now, just to get some extra vulnerabilities going. Setram is going to be running his... running his ultimate at the end, so we don't want that to interfere at all. We're taking reasonable hits here, but we had the Volka attack down going because she has her exclusive, so that stays up fairly consistently. We're going to hold on to Twyla's ultimate. Not now. Setram, you're going to do it on your next... on the next cast here. Right about here. Alright, hold all the rest. Now these are going to start blowing up.
Stand clear of my blade. Don't stay close.
Send everything we got. And once more we will be using that those same shenanigans with Twinfiend right at the end here. Just pop that. Setram's going to go down. It will put the vulnerability debuff back up again, and we'll milk some more damage out of this while doing so. Then by the end of this physical phase, we're at 16,000. Now obviously, if you actually have a good physical roster and awakenings, unlike me and my shitty Volka, Twyla, Kigiri team here, which besides Volka are all A0, you actually will get significant damage out of this. I just am not because, well, because I have a trash team. But that's on me. And this hurts, but that's okay, that's why we have Aylin. Don't die. Good. We're gonna pop Twyla just because we can. Not that she serves any purpose. Not that any of this serves any purpose, but hey. Going into Meteoric Deluge. And chances are, right, if I was only caring about my blood, which you probably should be doing, Twinfiend would have gone out earlier. I just want to see how far off from the shield I actually am here, which the answer is probably very, but I am personally curious because I never actually pushed the run this far. I was just messing with Hex timings. I didn't mute Discord because of course I didn't. Oh, Hex is... Kigiri's dead, that's fine. Torodor will take his damage like a champ.
Deceptive. Me. Don't touch me.
Now we're once more waiting on Hex here. He's going to draw his card. We're probably just going to pop things right now. Now, this was near perfect timing, so we'll see how close we actually get here. I'm assuming not at all. Yeah, okay. So we will die, but we are at 18,000. And again, right, if you have good physical units and awakenings, this score would be a lot more impressive. And I'll be going over my team here real quick, but I think I need to hurry because the maintenance is, like, soon, if it's not already going to kick me out. But, right, these are the damage numbers. And if I go to the gear here in the Awakenings, it's not impressive. A0 Twyla, A0 Kigiri, A5 Setram, I will concede on that point, but, like, if either of these was A3, that would be massive damage. Or, you know, if you had an Arrogance, or if you had, say, a Silas, and you could run a Piercer team. There are many alternatives to this, but I'm going to go over the gear real quick. Torodor is running a Morale set, Twyla is running SA and Wicked Vengeance, with a Scarlet whatever the hell. Kigiri is running his exclusive, Warlord and Soulbound Arcana. Volka is running Wicked Vengeance, her exclusive, and Soulbound Arcana. Ferssi is running Warlord, Invigoration, and I keep on forgetting the name of this thing, Euphoric Orb. Twinfiend is running a Tear of Twilight, Warlord, and Soulbound Arcana. Diaochan is running the Scarab, Warlord, and Invigoration. If I had good enough Winged Grace, I would be giving her that, but I don't. Setram is once more running his Shadow's Gaze, his exclusive on Wicked Vengeance, and then a full set of Infernal Roar with some crit damage. Aylin is running Wings of Grace, Light's Grace, and a Tia's Balm, and Hex is running Sutra, Wicked Vengeance, and Soulbound Arcana. Now, there are ways to make this significantly better, right? You could potentially just drop out the Infernal Lord and go a different route. I'm doing it because this is who I have. If you have a Soul Cadence, this becomes substantially easier, obviously, but this is doable without. Now, if I had... let's just go double check. Let's just go see for a second here, right? If Twyla had any awakening, really, she'd be doing a lot more damage. If I had a good Wukong, a good Arrogance, really kind of any of the good Nightmare fighters, I would probably be running them instead of her. I might actually try with a Lust just to see where that gets me. Because it might actually go better. If I had Lord Phineas's exclusive artifact, that run would go substantially better, because I could drop Volka and just use him instead. Which would be a lot more physical damage than she does. There are plenty of ways to make this team better, or this approach better. I'm fairly confident that you can hit the 22,000 chest with a similar approach. I right now cannot. I will need to look into that and continue iterating on it, but I don't think I really have a good option besides getting different physical damage champions. So this will presumably be, for the time being, my ceiling. That being said, this is a Twinfiend 18,000 team. If you were so inclined as to double hit, you would get the 35,000 chest. You would be well over the 3.33% that you would need in personal contribution to down the boss if everyone in your guild did the same. So it would potentially probably be worthwhile. So yeah. Yeah, that's really about it. I spent many an hour brute forcing this boss and trying to tweak things. I am not sure I will do much more on Abyss 1. until I get anything that actually changes my account. I will probably run some tests on swapping the fighters around, but I've kind of hit a cap here, I feel, in regards to my account. So, in any case, I hope this at least helps to increase somehow your blood count, or chest, or whatever. Point is, cheers, and you have a nice one.